Sorry I compared you to a chili state. Okay, let me start off this video with saying that people are just mean. Okay, this video is supposed to help you when people are putting you down, or they just don't take you seriously about your writing, which especially happens when you're young. People are jerks. It's why bullying is such a big problem. There are profitable charities and non-profitable charities that are nationally famous in the US because bullying is such a problem. Everybody knows the definition pretty much. When you decide to announce that you're going to be a writer, that opens yourself up. You know, you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position because you're taking the chance of being criticized by everyone. And you're going to be criticized by everyone pretty much. Some of them you want your editors. You definitely want your beta readers and the reviewers. You know, you actually give your book to people and say, go ahead, criticize my work. Even though you don't like it, but you still do. But at the same time, you don't necessarily like being treated like trash by people you want to be supported by. This is cliche, but this whole video is basically just a long way of me saying you to just forget about them, you know. Everybody says it, but they say it for a reason, because you kind of have to forget about them if you feel like following your dreams. People put you down because of their own insecurities. You have to you don't have to, but if you kind of take a step into their subconscious and what they're thinking, you have to think about why in the world are they taking the time to make fun of me? And kind of what people have found that's going through their subconscious brain, maybe not the front of their head, but in the back of their mind, they're thinking. Someone is more devoted, more talented, more smart than I am at this moment, and they are doing something that I can't even comprehend doing myself. If I can't do it, how could they? I don't understand. They're not going with the flow like everybody else. They're kind of comparing you to like when you drip chili on a white t-shirt. You know, the white t-shirt is like everything else, so that there's this blemish now on your shirt. And that, you know, the chili still tastes good, and it's different, and everybody can see it, but people go through a lot of work to get that chili stain off. They wipe it off, they soak it in water, they put bleach on the white t-shirt. You know, they try to make it the same as everything else. That's kind of what they're trying to do with you. Sorry I compared you to a chili stain, but it was a good metaphor. So that's kind of what society ends up doing throughout, especially if you go through public school. They train you to get a job in the end. I mean, they wake you up at 6:30 in the morning, typically, so that way you get used to going to an everyday job. Don't get me wrong, that's not a bad thing, but that's why people's brains are wired the way they are. I mean, if it wasn't organized the way it was, it would most definitely be chaos. So I'm not saying go against the law and blame society on everything, but it does wire people's brains to think a certain way, but it doesn't wire everybody's that way. And if you're writing a book out of the ordinary that isn't normal for the people your peers, then that's just something they don't typically understand. I have been lucky enough to where when I go to school, I've actually been fairly supported, but a lot of writers can say the opposite. They say that they have been physically abused, emotionally abused, definitely verbally abused from their peers, either at school or at their work. I sure hope not at their work physically. But, and that kind of is something I did not have to go through. In fact, when I told my friends that I was writing a book, I was lucky enough to have friends that was more than willing to lift me up, and when I felt like giving up, they were my backup, and they told me to shut up and write anyway, which was what I needed. But not all writers were that lucky. I did indeed have my criticism, I did indeed get bullied on it, but it just wasn't from the same amount of people typically writers get. And when it comes to people taking you seriously, they may only take you seriously when you become a bestseller. And not everybody becomes a bestseller. So when you become extremely successful at it to where you have fame and money flowing through your ears, then people will take you seriously. And that only a fraction of writers get that, but that doesn't mean you didn't reach your dream. So they may never take you seriously. And that's just something you're going to have to live with if you decide to go down this path. You can choose to listen to them, that is your choice. But if you don't even try to write your novel, to follow your dreams, you will probably regret it and always have that question of if. What if I didn't listen to them? What if I didn't care what other people thought of me? You know, following your dreams is hard and not a lot of people get it. And the truth is not everybody succeeds. So just because you don't make it, if you end up pursuing the goal and you don't reach the goal, you at least won't have regret, and you know that writing is not, writing a novel at that moment is not what you were meant to do. All of this is kind of cliche thing. You've probably all heard everything that I've said. I'm just saying it again. Maybe this one will knock on your head. I personally push you to just do whatever you want anyway. I mean, that's what I did. I did have criticism, but I also did have my little people that pushed me through it. Even when I didn't want to be pushed, they still did. And I thank them for it because I'm fairly proud of myself of what I did for it. So thank you for watching the video, and of course go ahead and check the rest of my stuff out. Let's hang out on the internet, okay? I have a blog on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and of course there's here on YouTube. All those links should be in the description. Please hit that subscribe button and hit the thumbs up because that would absolutely make my day. Okay. If I am any help to you at all, then please go ahead and check out the rest of my stuff. I mean, that would also make me happy. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again. I want to have you watch my videos again, so please come back.